They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Do you people like my new hairstyle?
Ding dong.
سبحان خالق الجبار.
That's right, infidels. All of your pathetic online nightly rants trying to break me. Never. I survived Guantanamo Bay, infidels. What have you ever done? Who have you ever beaten? All you do is fight your little mailbags, your DM stooges, your worthless opinions. Well, now you will bow before Hacker Hamid as I destroy all of you marks today. Here on the Friday Locker Room. The end is here. Yo. Maddie wasn't ready for that one this morning. He was not ready. Oh, what's he hot about? Oh, nothing worth getting hot about, man. Practice a little stoicism, and we're back here on the Friday Locker Room, HMG, ready to break it down and talk about all the online bullshittery and heat and things that don't matter. So, but I'm glad to be back here with those who do matter, and that's the Bearcats in the chats, the subscribers, the Hameen Russo brand, and obviously the world's greatest producer, MSG. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. As we were talking about before going on air, I think it's the seasons are changing again. Seasons change. Time passes by as the weeks become, the months become the years.
When it's time to change, you've got to rearrange.
Exactly. A little bit of a headache, but that's okay. I got my full canister of water here. And I'm not the star of the show. You are, so you do all the talking anyway.
There is no stars. It's just
the star of the show. Is
good brother shit, man. Yeah, yeah, man. Like, I woke up this morning to way too many Twitter messages from fucking idiots who've never done anything in this business. And I'm not even in the conversation. I'm just tagged, and it's Russo. And I'm not saying these are the idiots, Russo and Disco, but all the fans chiming in and trying to act like they can look at a headline and have a fucking opinion instead of actually understanding what was in the video. And they just bite on a fucking clickbait headline and then act like they know what the fuck they're talking about. And the headline didn't even have anything to do with what was in the content of the video. So, yeah, dude. Then when people go, "Do you miss being in wrestling?" These are the fucking idiot fans that if you fucking they should be the first mission to Mars in case anything goes wrong, because we wouldn't miss them at all. We would not miss their stupid armchair quarterback. Never fucking done anything in their lives when it comes to getting in a wrestling ring, training, understanding, producing, performing, but yet they're the fucking absolute, they know it all. And we're just fucking, yeah, they do. So they can get fucked at the end of the day, or the beginning of the day, really, as far as I'm concerned. So the Russo Disco, I guess, heat continues as I woke up to this
drama.
Morning.
There's more drama. They woke up. Okay.
Yeah. People are, you going on K100? Yeah, I'll go on whenever. I was scheduled, and Feeney rescheduled it 3 times to not. So it's not like I have any heat with the big brothers in the mafia of Disco and Conan and can say what they want. And, Stevie will no sell it, and Russo gets hot, but it's got nothing to do with Rhea Ripley or anything like that. It's got everything to do with being called a liar and being misrepresented. And then instead of saying we apologize, which they kind of did and put out a retraction and gave me the shout out that we love Ben Hameen, he's cool. Yeah, dude, I'm down with you guys too, no doubt. But what I'm not down with is whatever this is that he can't let go. I hate seeing stupid wrestling or stupid anything, entertainment come between friends. And I don't know why Disco can't say he's sorry to Vince for reporting something from some fucking stupid ass Mark ass fan, who doesn't know fuck all. And then they're just trying to make conversation, but it gets reported as fact. And then they have a whole discourse about it, and none of it was real. And then it starts from these shit stirs because they don't want to say, oh, somebody in the mailbag presented something to us and we went in on it on a conversation. You're more than welcome to do that. But then at the end, when he's like, all right, it wasn't that. They didn't say Rhea Ripley's not over. And then he doubles down on, but I still think Russo's an idiot, doesn't understand the business. I'm just like, dude, it's okay to say I'm sorry and we fucked up. Instead of like, I can't be wrong and I have to do this and double and triple down. Because then that leads me to go, okay, how many businesses have you owned? How many LLCs do you have under your name? Let's talk about business and what real business is and why your argument where you go, the equation is this and it's so full of holes and it's a straw man argument. And Jeff's been pointing this out. And this is what Disco does. He's a great orator. But when you present him with a question that is the facts, that where he has to answer it factually, he reroutes because he doesn't want to be wrong. And that's any great debater it's about controlling the conversation, right?
Right.
But if you want an answer to the original question, then we need to stay on fucking track and do something. And I can go on there and have a great conversation with them of why it is and what it is. But it comes down to the fact that they keep putting over most money, most tickets sold, most this. McDonald's sells the most hamburgers in the world, has the biggest profits. Is McDonald's hamburger the best hamburger in the world?
Meh. No.
It's probably not even top 10 because it's pink slime dog shit that they're feeding you, filled with chemicals and poison. I think SmackDown's the same thing. I think you can fucking get a TV deal, act like you're over, and feed it to the people, and they will eat shit because there's no other option. But if McDonald's served a Five Guys burger, could they, at the same price, could they make 5 times more than what they're making because of the quality and trust of what is going into your food and how it's being prepared and that it isn't sat in a freezer for fucking 10 years and can still be consumed? Like, that's, you want to take it to that argument. Or it's the same as, I don't give a fuck, Fruit Loops. In this equation, I'm RFK Jr. I want to take the red dye, the shit that sucks, the shit that kills you, the poison they're feeding you every week out of your cereal. So
Right.
it's better for you. So you are not being duped and you just keep eating it and eating and eating and go, this is the best while it's killing you inside. Like that's exactly what these shows are that they're putting out there with such lackluster effort. And they act like it's a fucking 5-star Michelin meal. When reality is it's some bullshit out of a fucking vending machine. Like that's the standard that they set, but they act like, well, I mean, this guy is in the kitchen baking cakes for all these great cake spots they're doing. So maybe, but you know, like that's when it comes on. And then the marks go back and forth. And then Disco this morning finds some headline from 3 years ago. See, you said Rhea Ripley wasn't over. Yeah. And I could make that statement now if I believe that had nothing to do with what the conversation was about. You want a chest of Rhea Ripley's over? Go to the mall. 100 people survey said, do you know who Rhea Ripley is? 2. Is that over? No. Excuse me. Yeah, so like that's even like a ridiculous sidebar to even like that this is what it's all over. What it comes down to is not being able to say, hey, we got misled by some fucking mark whose opinion is absolutely fucking worthless and is just trying to shit stir. They then came back and redacted it, but then doubled down to fuck with Vince. And it's just like, dude, you're going to let some asshole mark and some wrestling angle come between 30 years of friendship to stand on who's right and who's wrong because you can't go, yeah, dude, it's not that important. I love you, bro. This is, what are we fucking fighting for? It's silly. You know, like, hey man, I just, with the amount of people that those guys have lost in their lives in wrestling, I just hold my friendships and my relationships that much closer because I've been through it as well. And it shocks me that these guys have been through it multiple times and we still carry down this path.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack there. You know, I've been listening
Well,
to.
here's
to
part. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just
jumped
gonna say,
on you.
yeah, I've been listening to the clips, following along here. You kind of laid it out there with the fact that somebody sent in something to the K100 mailbag, said that Vince had stated Rhea Ripley wasn't over. Now you got me doing it, Rhea Ripley. That she wasn't over, and that, of course, the argument that's been going back and forth now for a couple months between Russo brand and K100 is what signifies as like successful. What is success when it comes to pro wrestling? Whereas your guys' argument is based on the creativity and the fact that if their ratings were up, that Netflix would be happy too, because there's a Netflix side to this. They paid billions of dollars, for a product in which they thought was going to garner in a specific amount of viewers, and that's not hitting that. So in that regard, they are failing. But then you got K100 making the argument that they're making the most money possible, so they must be successful. And then, of course, this is all now broken down into where Disco and Conan have basically told Vince that he's not intelligent enough if he can't recognize.
Yeah, how does it get to that point where dudes are going, you don't understand shit, you're an idiot. You're telling your buddy he's an idiot over some fucking wrestling stuff, bro, instead of just being able to take some onus, And like I said, they have fucking gave me the shout out. My name got dropped 60 times, and the worst fucking thing in wrestling is when nobody's talking about you. So a bunch of assholes are going, who the fuck has Ben Hameen? And then the rest of them go, he never did shit. And then here comes the fucking wave of retards. Like that's what I woke up to this morning, if I didn't really sleep at all anyway. So big day at Ravens Joint. The New York State Fair started yesterday, and already we saw a 15% uptick in people through the front door. So I'm pumped for the rest of this week. And when people tell me you don't understand business, then my first thing is how many LLCs you got,
Right?
How much? Let me see your books and profit, because every LLC I've ever owned out of the 6 has been profitable since day one. I've never started under and fucking not been. Well, I won't say that. Ravens Joint, we had startup money, but that wasn't much to get by. So when people just use that as like a quick, you don't understand business. Okay, please explain to me business. I would love to hear what I don't know, because you might have some great knowledge that maybe I am unaware of. But then they start down a very short path and realize that they're just saying tropes that have no backup because they have no experience in it. Guess who does? So that's part one. Part two, ass smashers of the fucking. I read the comment section just to pop and to put a Pro Wrestling Tees link in there. This one got me when some little side clip that they put out in a Russo thing where I said about Bailey has a BBL. Bailey, this guy's an idiot. Bailey's got no BBL. Like fucking 20 people going off about that. Why do I say that? Because Nia Jax said it in the fucking ring on the show, that she got her gimmicks and ass done. So, but heat on me. I don't know. Fuck all. I'm an idiot. Yeah. This is the whole thing. They respond. They don't even watch the show or the clip. They look at a thumbnail,
Right.
think they know something, and then go post some fucking idiocy. So like that, there's that one as well. And then yesterday, it comes back from Solomonster's thing.
Yeah, I saw Rick
fucking stooge it.
Rick told me, yeah.
Yeah, where we're having the conversation about how ridiculous the Trinity / Naomi segment was set up as damage control to do character, but put a family spin on it. And what you're really doing is covering because, pregnancies happen. And she's gonna have to take time off, but she had the rocket strapped to her. So how do we present it in the nicest way possible so it doesn't look like there's heat on her for it or what have you, right?
Right.
And I put out there, and I thought I articulated it, but maybe it got lost in translation, that I thought it was very not the best decision to announce a pregnancy on TV this early on, because she was just wrestling. So the pregnancy is probably pretty recent when they found out. And usually you don't want to say anything, even if you're not on TV, you're not wrestling, till about 8 to 12 weeks, 3-month mark to tell your family, in case something along those lines, it's a very early on, can go awry. You know what I mean? And we
Right.
definitely don't want any of that to happen, obviously, to them or their family. But to stand in the ring to fucking put it over when you don't know what the next 9 months brings. And then even after that, you're going, and I'm going to be back, heifers, with my baby in my arms to get this title. I'm like, now you're doing a wrestling thing saying that you're coming back for the title right after you have a kid. That to me means that a phony belt and the pressure of wrestling and the heat from Triple H, if you don't lay this promo down to secure your spot in the future, means more than your unborn child does right now, in your opinion, because you're so paranoid of the shit that's underneath the surface because they put we're strapping the rocket to you. Well, guess what? Some rockets don't make it to Mars, you know? So that's really what they were trying to do there. But my whole point was, man, I just didn't like the move of to like, we're pregnant, everybody. How far along are you? Based on what she was wearing, it's got to be pretty recent, you know? So you can do all the Netflix and chill jokes to pop the crowd and all that you want, but I thought it was very scary to me that they were not scary, but I don't even know what the word is, but like to announce it in front of the crowd. Because the last time we did something like this, Nikki Bella, will you marry me? That didn't work out too well. And I'm not trying to compare somebody's life to a proposal, but these things where, have you ever seen any asshole at a party go, hey, everybody, watch this, where they're going to jump off something? Usually they land on their fucking neck.
Right.
You know? And that's when you do these things, you're tempting fate, when probably should have just done an injury angle or another whodunit with Jade and take her out, as opposed to look at me, everybody. And then I hope I don't pray because I'm an atheist, but I really fucking send best vibes that everything goes well with her. The whole, you know, term of her pregnancies. This is what happened to Awesome Kong, bro. She wasn't in the ring saying she was pregnant, but like, it can happen. And people were telling me they'd tried to do something earlier with a pregnancy angle with her, and that's just not in my memory, of watching. And even Marks were like, she's had issues with fertility before. It's been documented. I'm like, I don't know about that, but that further makes me go, why are you announcing this on TV when you should really be laid out? Yeah.
Somebody's beating over the stomach with a kendo stick or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. But or you just do like Jade Part 2. She's laid out again on the hood of a car. We don't need to see it, right? We can come in and they got her again. So I don't know, man. Like, to me, that was to be like, Stephanie gets the scoop, everybody. Like, that's what it was. And we're the last person they're thinking about. And this is the unborn kid. It seems like the belt's more important. The protecting your spot's more important. There's Trinity, but I'm Naomi weirdness. Like, but here come these fucking fans. This dude is fucking cringe. He said that this, and this. They didn't even hear what the fuck I said. They didn't even watch the video. And here they are in Solid Monsters thing or a brand fan group or a K100 cunting off, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. They don't even know what the fuck.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
And this is what it's fun to be a podcaster and wake up to these things, even though I'm retired and from the ring and, well, allegedly until probably December. And you know, these fucking fanboys who are definitely on the spectrum, tape trader masturbators, because they're not even listening to what's being said in these clips. They're just going in these wrestling forums to try and bury me, Vince, whoever, to make themselves look smart. And the reality is, anybody who listens to the clip knows that that's not even in the realm of what I was fucking talking about. When you just don't announce pregnancies in the first trimester, really. Like, you wait to make sure everything is progressing along. And like I said, I hope it does, and there's zero issues, but we already did it, you know? And if that is true, what people said in the past, that she did have, you know, issues with conception or fertility, dude, that makes me scratch my head even fucking more of why we would go out there and do that, man, you know?
Yeah.
And is it in there? They show Jimmy backstage popping for her lines, and everyone's, oh yeah, this is funny. Meanwhile, the boys in the back are going, can you believe they strapped a rocket to these guys and they're fucking up their push? Like, that's how petty the wrestling locker room is. Everyone will be like, oh, we're so happy for you. The bloodline continues. Yay. And they're going, I did fucking job for her and laid out. And now what? And the other people are like, all right, there's the spot. How do I get myself in there? Like, this is the wrestling mafia, bro. But on the surface, it's like, we're happy for everybody. Like, it's as cutthroat as the other side of it. But when it comes to these fucking Mark fans, whether it's pregnancies, BBLs, or who is or isn't over, you really don't know fuck all. And you really have no basis to stand on of critiquing anything that professionals in this business who've been in it for, I'm the young boy at 18 years. Those guys been in it for 30, 35 years, acting like you can stand on equal ground and that your opinion is going to mean anything. It's not. It really isn't. Show me what legends you've been in the ring with, who you've trained with, how many matches you've had, how many hours on the road, how many continents have you worked on, how many fucking countries have you worked in. It just it doesn't stop with the fucking fanboy idiocy, bro. So, I just wanted to slap some ass to start the show off, and they'll probably not listen to this clip and go, he was never in fucking Survivor Series. What the fuck does he know? Yeah, dude. I will gladly stack my in-ring resume on the indies up against your top 5 fucking non-title guys, WWE performers, and we'll see who's had more moments with legends in main events and fucking longer runs as the same character. How about that? My character was over enough I never had to switch. That should be enough to tell you that who gets in, who fucking doesn't.
These comments that come from these individuals online, do you think it's a case of jealousy? You know, the fact that you get to hang out with Vince Russo and talk with Vince Russo and K100 and K-Dog, that they feel like they need to like rip you down from whatever pedestal they think you're on or something like that?
Yeah, well, that's the fucking slight anonymity of the internet, right?
Right.
Like, they don't have podcasts to be reached out and touched. They don't have fucking live shows or anything like that. So the fact that the internet gives them the power to fucking be able to comment and put it out there, that makes them feel like they're on a nobody's above anybody else. It's phony fucking wrestling, and we're all ants on a fucking anthill in the middle of space. But inside the fucking ant colony, they are definitely not at the top, you know, like they just have a false sense of security, keyboard tough guys, and that's fine. Like, that's the highlight of their life. They got to interact with somebody who actually does something, who actually chops wood, carry water, who goes out, finds the master to become a student and fucking apply their craft. They've never done any of that. So why would I take their opinions or their comments as anything for me to be, worried about, or even be like, oh, they got a point there, dude. I can tell you didn't even watch the fucking video because your comments so asinine about Naomi. My entire point was, don't talk about your pregnancy before you know everything's healthy and going wise. Instead, we sold it out for a pop on Stephanie's fucking show and killed our character by showing her in the ring while the fucking shoot me is on the screen. Okay. Everybody's doing everything right over there. Everything is A-okay. They fucking really understand. Yeah, dude, millions of dollars.
Getting millions of hits on YouTube, and none of
and
them
then and like, I didn't want to say this because they're gonna fucking go nuts off of it.
Bum, bum, bum.
No, like, imagine worst case scenario in your mind.
Well, yeah, the worst case scenario, that wouldn't be ideal.
And then what? And then what? Then what did they do again? They learned nothing from the past.
Right.
And it also shows that they act like, oh, it's going to be a family in another WWE legacy. Like, they're all backstage and gorilla cheesing like that. Let's pray, even as a non-atheist or as the atheist, that nothing bad happens and it all comes to fruition. But
well, did you see Jade Cargill then tweeted out like crying emojis afterwards? So it looked like she was killing her business, even though the fact that Naomi took her out.
She was crying like happy or like
crying
fucking
emojis.
emojis. Fuck
Yeah, exactly.
idiots.
Like crying emoji, like, oh my God, you're having a baby. Crying emojis, you know
Is
what I
that
mean?
yeah? We had to put that tweet out and kill our own business. Further goes to show you that we have people on our roster who don't really care about where their paycheck comes from, honoring the fucking push that's behind them, the bumps that people are taking for them, and that they'll go and stooge out. Well, there's Unreal, there's WWE Unreal. Yeah, doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's right to be showing that shit. No, Rhea Ripley's over. Oh, is she? That like you think she's a badass dominatrix who can fuck anybody up? Now here's her backstage crying in Triple H's arms while he awkwardly hugs her. That seems pseudo-sexual and whispers in her ear, "You got it. You don't have to worry about anything. You understand. You got this shit." Like, does that fucking help the investment that we're trying to get to the fans to make her show her looking like a basket case backstage on Unreal? Like. The inside the bubble, their fucking blinders are on so much, and they just Horowitz themselves all day long, and they don't even understand the damage they're doing to their show, to their performers, and to their fan base. Because they just go, well, they got on ESPN. Well, then people over there are fuckheads too. And not that doesn't represent Maddie in any way. But yeah, like, you know, like to get those deals done when you just watch Netflix have 5.9 million 2.5 quarters ago, and now we're down to 1.8. Well, that was their fan base that came over. Well, you had a chance to hook 4.1 million people and you failed. So what does that say about you and your creative? They're making the most money ever. What does that say about you and your creative? You had the opportunity. You cashed the check. You promised them that it would go up. And then people are like, well, that's just the hardcores in wrestling. It's summertime. It's football. It's this. It's that. You know what is strange? When I had a conversation Zoom meeting with Jacob Allman of Fox, and SmackDown was at a 3-6 and then went down to a 3-1, and they wanted a minimum of 4 that they were promised. This seems strangely familiar to that. You know what else? When we met with Chris McCumber, USA Network, and he goes, yeah, we did this, but we got a lot of issues with the way they're doing things, and numbers keep going. That president of USA had an issue with it too. But Netflix and ESPN, they're going to be cool with it, with buying a bad bill of goods and losing 60% of their clientele. These are the arguments I'm supposed to get into with Disco. Like, if Ravens joint lost 60% of its clientele in 1 quarter, making the most money we ever have.
Yeah, but Ben, the check's already cashed. You know,
the check is cashed.
The check is cashing every week.
And what kind of network executive are you if you don't look at Fox and USA and get on the phone and do a case study and talk to Chris McCumber or fucking Jacob Allman and go, what happened there, bro, in the time they were on? Because now SmackDown was at 860,000, bro.
Ooh.
And the show was 4 tag matches. You do. What excuse is there for that? While the boss is on a boat in Greece, and that's what you're giving them because the check is already cashed. Everyone, they're making the most money ever. Here, eat this fucking old shitty McDonald's hamburger and tell me how fucking great it is. That's exactly what's going on, dude. And have to get into wrestling conversations with people who have no clue, or be called an idiot by guys who are higher in the mafia than I am. And then I get to explain it to them. And then we go into a straw man argument down another road, because whatever it is inside of them, they can't just go, you know what, good brother, I see your point. You're, I may be wrong. And but the reality is you don't want to fuck with your own business, especially if you want to be an NXT coach in Vegas or Triple H is standing in front of your AAA sign. Why would you? That's against every mafia code that we fucking have. The best thing that Conan and Disco could do would be to cut mine and Russo's throats to get ahead with Triple H. And it's happened before. I've had plenty of people that were fair weather friends leave me in the dust because they got up there. Then they get up there and find out it's even more of a miserable fucking game of fuck your buddy and get the spot at any cost. Then they get fired, come back down, and then they want to be buddy again. Like in the original fucking clique that is me being me, instead of being, I'm going to cut your throat to step over you. I'm going to help you do everything I can to give you free creative, free whatever, and make a call for you in order to you get an opportunity. But as soon as they capitalize, I won't say everybody. There's a couple that do hold their integrity, but I would probably say 7 out of 10 fit the bill of the other way. And welcome to the carny fucking queers and addicts lifestyle of being inside of the entertainment business, bro. It just comes with the territory. And that's part of the reason I'm retired and not retired. But it seems like since I'm retired, more heat gets kicked up because of all this shit, because of Bailey's BBL or lack of, or whatever the fuck.
Hot start today here on the Friday Locker Room.
Yeah. Yeah, just things I didn't get out on Russo brand. And it's just like, they all look the same. Unwashed hair, 120 pounds overweight, a shitty beard that looks like fucking pubes off the bathroom floor, fucking Cheeto fingers, and just, a lack of vitamin D in their skin. And like, these are the guys that go and post on these things like they're fucking experts, like because they listen to some podcasts and they think they have insider knowledge.
Wrestling with Death Maris has been the wrestling life you described seems very similar to band life.
Bro, it's entertainment biz.
Yeah.
It's just it's comedy. It's comedy as well. I've watched in comedy, it happens almost more. Sometimes people bring up their teammates for parts that they can get, but once somebody gets that HBO show or whatever the fuck, gone. And then they come back to Second City or Improv Olympic, and everyone's like, oh, it's them. A year ago, you were playing on the same team, living on the same block in the same shitty studio apartment complex. But now they're a fucking god who can do no wrong because they were on whatever the fuck show, Veep or Righteous Gemstones or da-da-da-da, like,
yeah.
That's just the carny world of entertainment, man. And I can only imagine in bands when the lead singer of the band must be exactly like the babyface world champion who really believes they're over and that they've beaten somebody and that they can do no wrong. You know what I mean? While the drummer sits back there going, without me, this song is fucked.
Yeah, it'd be like, and I'm not sitting here to be like, oh, I'm amazing, but it'd be like if I went in and I started commenting.
You are amazing, Maddie. You are.
Thanks. It'd be like if I started a music podcast, right? And let's say I was working with a high-end artist. It'd be like someone coming into the comments and be like, oh, yeah, Matt, well, who did you ever tour with? Or I could be like, well, actually, I did tour with this band, and I did this. Yeah, but you never made it. So, you never made
exactly,
it
dude. Like, and they don't, that's what they judge. Oh, I never got on SmackDown. Did you see SmackDown this week? I wouldn't want to be on SmackDown this week. Well, I say that, but sure you would, because Blazer Ram and I would have stole the fucking show in tag team night. So it would have been that easy. But yeah, that's it, bro. And like, then what? We're supposed to sit here because some fucking douchebag who's never done anything with their life judges us and we have to jump through some fiery hoop to prove it to a fucking nobody.
Right.
When the reality is, and I got to recount my resume for you. You want to hear the stories of Roddy Piper kissing me in my fucking sweaty ass bald head after our segment, telling me how great I did. Hacksaw asking me to open for him for stand up after having 6 matches. Like, dude, you want me to go through all of it? Of what the fuck it is? Like, what is it going to take for me to convince some fucking fanboy that I'm worthy of their opinion? Because that my opinion would actually fucking matter, Oh, you only worked with Hornswoggle at Upstate Pro Wrestling. You didn't do it on fucking Survivor Series. Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. Forgive me, fanboy. Your fucking opinion means everything to me now. It's just how the fuck it is in 2025 with it's generation useless. That's what I call them. They're not millennials. It's generation useless. It's a bunch of fucking kids who got participation trophies who think that every word that comes out of their mouth is important as everybody else. They want to live vicariously through entertainers and who they deem stars. But anybody who goes against what their fucking fragile view isn't shit, never did anything. You're not over. Okay.
Well, and technology doesn't help, right? Because nowadays everybody just wants to be an influencer. Everybody, sees other people on their phones or they're having success, and everybody themselves is equating to, hey, I can do that too. When in the past, the reality of the situation is not everybody can be an entertainer or an influencer or a celebrity, and that's okay. But
You
now,
could be if you put 20 years into it, like I did.
That's true. You put 20 years into it, but most of these people don't want to put 20 years into it. They want instant gratification. They think that they should just open up their TikTok, start a video, go viral, and then everything else should just fall into place like that, which I can tell you as someone who's opened up multiple TikToks and started videos or followed trends or whatnot, it doesn't work like that. You need a little bit of luck, just like with anything,
Sure.
preparation.
Or you need to do what WWE does and buy views.
And buy views.
And that goes back to that conversation where Disco's like, you guys don't get it. You don't understand. Okay. What don't I understand as a businessman? That the show did 800,000 views and they was told the USA probably wanted them around 2 million.
Right.
So now we're 60% below, just like we have been since pre-COVID, telling more and more lies to executives who are going to fail upwards. And I have no fucking love for any of them, because I know who the fuck they are too, because I've worked with them, not just hearsay like these marks. And then you go, 60% down, and let's go sell it to another property, to some other guy. We ran the work 2 or 3 times. It's the same as it worked in that town. It worked in this town. It'll work in the next town because they hadn't seen it yet. So like to keep putting it out there of they're making the most money ever is not the right metric, dude. It doesn't matter. Like you could be making 5 times more if you actually cared about putting out a quality product, as opposed to doing deals that end up leaving the person who bought it with a terrible taste in their mouth when they're done.
Yeah. Like it's, Frank's pointing out his cousin doing TikTok and stuff like that, his cousin and her husband, but like that doesn't work for everybody. Like, I've putting out shorts. I know tons of people putting out TikTok shorts and make TikTok vids, and they're not getting famous.
Yeah. So it goes to this too, where he said, Jeff was talking about this, Jeff Lane, about, because Vince was trying to put over what I usually say. And Jeff had a point too. I'm not sure if he had caught what Vince was saying, but Jeff is saying, what, they don't believe in bots? They don't believe in bots? Dude, how can you have 800,000 people watching your show, but 82 million watch it on YouTube? Okay.
Right.
And the YouTube clip, allegedly, let's say 82 million is a real number. You're only charging advertisers for the 800,000 on TV because you think TV is that. That totally tells me that as a businessman, that all of your YouTube metrics are complete bullshit. Because otherwise, you'd have Castrol GTX Slam of the Week in the bottom right-hand corner, so you can go to Castrol GTX and go, I can get you 82 million views. You think they're going to go, no, we'd rather just have 800,000 on TV. They're not selling any of that because it's not real. Otherwise, they would fucking have people lined up paying premium price to fucking get 80 million views on a YouTube clip with their company logo in the fucking lower corner.
I mean, your logic is sound. If you've got this, I mean,
hey, I don't know anything about the biz. I don't know about business though. So is it sound? Like it's ridiculous, bro, that like I have to be called an idiot. I don't understand the business. Here's the straw man equation when the real equation's right there. So let's just say that the 82 million is fucking fake. Well, how many of those are hate bots? Hate bots aren't real. Ask Tony Khan. Don't believe in Tony Khan and wrestling? Benjamin Netanyahu just said it in a fucking in a press conference of that Israel's being targeted by hate bots. These things and bot farms from India are completely real. Completely real. And unless you can go to YouTube analytics page for WWE, it will still show that, but it's all going to be half bullshit. And the fact that they're not selling that metric to people in different corporations, instantly stooges that off.
Yeah, no, I mean it makes sense. Like any YouTube, I mean I pay for YouTube Premium, but that doesn't take away the fact that most YouTubers that I watch have sponsors, and this video is sponsored by A, B, C, or D, and we're not getting that on those WWE clips, those highlight clips. I watch them; they're not doing it. They just show the clips, and that's it.
Ergo, the fucking numbers are a lie, and even. Because I don't want to get back and forth in these things with Disco or everybody and start insulting people over stupid wrestling shit when I know it's bullshit. Because as a businessman, you want to get most bang for your buck. So why would you spend the millions on fucking a TV ad that's only 800,000 when you could sponsor the YouTube clip, but nobody is? That right away goes to shit. Then there's the hate bot farms. Absolutely. That's how most TikTokers get over, is buying fucking views to get into the algorithm to do that shit, bro. And then,
so what you're telling me is for me to get famous, I need to buy some bots. That's what you're saying, Ben.
How do you think I got a pro wrestling tee store early in the fucking beginning?
Really?
You couldn't get one if you didn't have Twitter was pretty new, you know what I mean? And if you didn't have 3,000, now anybody can get one, any indie worker can. But in the beginning, it was like a status thing. If you don't have 3,000, we're not going to give you a pro wrestling tee store. Okay. I'll spend the fucking $170 to get 5,000 fucking bots to follow me. And then when the big culling happened in 2015, they all peeled off. But by that time I had it. Now by 2019, every indie worker can have their own PWT store. But at a time there was gatekeeping on it. So these strategies are still employed.
Right.
Absolutely, dude. And it just doesn't make any sense in the metric. 1 million to 82 million. There can't be that far of a gap between viewership just on computer clips versus the live show. That's way too far of a stretch and a lie. If they were like, we got 4 million online and they were real, that would actually be something you could go and sell to fucking advertisers. But 82 million, they can't. It's a lie. That's just for the Mark boys to fucking tell that on podcasts. And now you're reporting false information.
How to buy bots.
Yeah, dog.
I'm gonna need to buy some bots apparently.
They're out there.
Go ahead.
No, they're out there. And that was Jeff's point of like, bots follow us every day. So how many are being bought by it? And Tony Khan said the same thing, and Hate Bot became a fucking great Master Shoot Theater, bit for a while. And the fact that they're not capitalizing on it, like, I don't know how you can argue the other way in where you go, the equation says this. Well, the equation tells me that it's complete bullshit as a businessman, but I guess what the fuck do I know about business?
What do you know, Ben? What do you know? Bots are us. Get me bots are us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've gotten into the first 45 minutes of the show.
Yeah, everybody needed their ass slapped this morning.
That's
from
it.
These fucking online things of like, I just sit here, quiet. I'm not going to go off. And I don't say you're quiet ever, really. But I'm not going to go off on Russo brand or K100. That's why I have the locker room. So whatever it is, you see these fucking tape trader masturbators in a Solo Monster forum or whatever, they're running their mouth. They haven't even fucking watched the video to understand it. All I was saying is don't announce your pregnancy early because you never know what could happen. Nia Jax said that Bayley had a BBL on air in the ring and her tits are fucking probably 550s, 500 cc's. And there's fucking juke numbers on YouTube. Like, that's all it comes down to. But now we're at a point of like, what the fuck do you know? Or those guys are idiots. They don't understand the business. Or I can't do a show with you even though we're friends. That's how far we're taking this dumbass shit.
Right.
Okay, dog. I'll be at Raven's joint selling weed if you need me.
All right. Well, I've got a couple of headlines I suppose we can get into here. Good old wrestling headlines.
Yeah. Wrestling with Death Mary. No conspiracy stuff to start. Just me smashing fucking idiots who don't deserve an ounce of my fucking time. But apparently I'll sell for him today just to clear things up, because that's what's happened in the last week of like, say my name 60 times or I guess 33 times and I appear and have to correct what's what. But even Kaz, like, he gets excited about these fucking hot takes. I'm like, bro, you got to fucking protect me. You got to understand like what the what to clip and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kaz, what's your problem?
No, he does a good job.
Heat on you, Kaz.
Yeah, he just gets excited about, oh, it's a hot take, it'll get these numbers. And I like that. You want to, but I'm like, dude, do I really want to deal with Naomi and Jimmy Uso's fucking fallout over it when all I was trying to say is I hope things go really well for you. And I don't think that the middle of the ring is the place to announce a pregnancy just so Stephanie's podcast can get a pop.
Yeah.
But it also shows how fucking the mind fuck of the mafia, where they're smiling at you. Everyone's happy about this. And under the surface, people are going, well, there goes our year fucking creative for her, gritting their teeth.
Right.
Yeah. Like even Michael Hayes, who probably was the biggest throat cutter in that Unreal thing. Naomi, he puts it all over. Well, that's done for.
Do you think the in-ring, I guess, announcement was so that it can play into WWE Unreal Season 2, where they're following Naomi around as she's about to have her child?
No, I think she'll be written out. I think they'll tape that. They're gonna go right on the next 6 months of that. Did I stooge off on? I think I stooged off with Rick. I didn't say this on Russo brand, so kind of a HMG exclusive, but I keep it tight to the vest because got to protect sources. That it wasn't even WWE that put that Unreal together. It was NFL.
Really?
Looks like Hard Knocks, smells like Hard Knocks.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, and who is doing that to have NFL guys cut their shit together instead of using their own people?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense why they outsource like that when they have high.
It doesn't make sense. So make sense of it. Why would you do that?
Because you want to seem like it's real?
Could. Or you don't want people talking and stooging inside your own company knowing what it is, so you send it outside to keep it
locked down.
And whoever has final say on what goes out there, you know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, when you're farming stuff out and keeping it small, it's because you don't want critics or heat to come back on you. So you're trying to keep your close-knit circle as small as possible.
All right. Well, Ben, do you have anything else you'd like to get off your chest today before we read some headlines?
About fucking 40 pounds would be nice.
I feel you. I'm going to the gym for the same reason.
Actually, I will stooge it off. I just signed up with Caesar Bonini yesterday.
Okay.
So I will be going hard in the paint, bro, and probably till the end of September because I'm going to Jamaica for 6 days. But really, 2CW show is getting put together and things are getting locked down. So, 4 months from now, hopefully around Christmas time, you'll see Super Hacker and make a moment that maybe the internet will finally give me the credibility I deserve.
You'll finally get over it.
So, it's just my birthday's in 2 days, and I just want to use that as a jumping off point to, get as healthy as possible for the future, because it gets harder and harder as your metabolism slows down. So go to the doctors and all that, see about getting on some TRT, and fucking a lot of people who are that I came up with who were fat bastards in the ring who still got a love for this, like Ethan Page and fucking Eddie Kingston are using him and having great results. And he's been great so far in the last 24 hours of my interactions with him. So I'll be doing Body Guy program for the next fucking 4 months, man. And I'm excited about it. I'm ready to just kind of go back to Rip Rogers training of being like, shut the fuck up and do what they tell you to do. And eventually you'll get it. You know what I mean? So it's just hard with being a business owner of sticking to that plan when I have so much else on my plate. I'd rather just let them be the drill sergeant and me the private, and fucking private parts. Do what they tell me to do. And work ethic's not a problem for me. So just kind of make it easy for myself and do what I gotta do, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, Bobo put over, he said Spike Dudley put over 2CW on Chris Van Vliet this week. Yeah, man. 2CW been close since 2015, one reunion show, and Spike Dudley, Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and plenty others are talking about it. But I only worked with Spike in our final segment, but I've never done anything.
You never did anything.
But that is it, man. Spike Dudley is the grandfather of 2CW. He loves Josh. He loves Steve. He loved Jack Trades, as we all did, and we miss him dearly. And when Spike Dudley, who doesn't really do any interviews, goes, the only thing close to ECW that I hold close is 2CW, and people are like, Indy. Dude, who gives a fuck what these fanboys think? Kevin Owens, Spike Dudley, Cody, who even gets it mixed up with Excite, and plenty of others. Look at 2CW as like that was something real and special in wrestling. So some YouTube comments don't mean shit to me, bro, because Josh put me in the ring with Slaughter, Piper, Tracy Smothers. I wouldn't have had those opportunities if it wasn't for that. So, and that's what's part of my journey that's brought us to this point, dude. That's my foundation, So,
right.
But yeah, huge shout out to Spike Dudley on the very last 2CW show. There's this one fan, Viking guy, him and his wife. He wears Viking helmets and he gets everybody to sign them. Big heavy dude. He's lost a lot of weight. He got the gut cut surgery, but he was huge dude, 400 plus probably. And in the last show, he's at every 2CW show front row, right? Like he's the green shirt guy, he's sign guy or whatever the fuck of 2CW. I went and grabbed his Viking helmet and stomped the shit out of it in the fucking middle of the ring, and crushed it. And like it's the symbol of 2CW, the fan base. So there is no more symbolic heat thing I could come up with, right? Here's the work. Fucking, I bought a Viking helmet 3 weeks beforehand, signed it, gave it to him, so it wasn't his real shit that's signed by Terry Funk and everybody, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a prop version. Go and do the bit. It works exactly how I want it to. And people, and like, he was fucking looked dejected and crushed like it was the real thing. He did a great job to get my heat over. So when Jack Trades hit me with another guy who's in the crowd who's got one leg, he's got a fake leg, and they always throw it in, and Jack hit you in the fucking nuts with it. So that gets over twice as much. But then when Spike was in the main event or semi-main, whatever he was in, he comes out with the real Viking helmet on, goes over and puts it on him. You know what I mean? They didn't know it was a prop switch out. They might have just thought it was, he got another one signed by the boys in the back, but one of the biggest pops on the show, bro. And that's where the crowd in 2CW is the only thing that is as credible as ECW ever was. The WWE, the AEW fans are trying to cosplay the realness of what we created there. And that's why another huge rant that I went on about the finish of Raw, me being a mega ECW fan and them only doing 10, 20% of the work, patting themselves on the back like they're masters of the universe instead of doing it properly the whole way through. I don't know how that can happen when you have the guy who wrote ECW in the main event and they're only doing 20% of the fucking work. Laziness. Or it's inside the bubble stupidity.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, when you've got somebody who's there is so intelligent, and the guy named Paul Heyman, who's got such a history of doing it, why would he not go out there and put ECW over in a different light? You know, why did they go that route? And it sounds like
the whole thing should have been there in Philly, right? And that he's putting over ECW in the beginning. There's no ECW ambassadors there. He's just burying Dreamer. Where's RVD? Where's anybody?
The Dudleys.
Yeah, and that match is coming up with the Hardys. So a perfect chance, as Stevie put over, to hype that match. And in the end, we have a New Jack cosplay, but they don't even do it right. Fucking Yeet comes out as New Jack. He comes out first. New Jack doesn't come out first. New Jack comes out last. So people can go, oh, fuck, here comes the guy with the weapons.
Right.
And the whole thing should be Paul Heyman going, oh, no, they figured it out. It's hardcore, et cetera. And every time somebody comes out, he should be fake bumping almost like, oh, no, and use all the ECW tricks and end with a 3D with Yeet and fucking Tribal Chief through a table on, buddy, as a fuck you to Heyman, where he was trying to put over that he's Mr. Hardcore. So you just use his own magic against him. But we couldn't even get New Jack's entrance right. So how the fuck do you expect him to write the rest of the scene? And I go, I don't understand how that's possible when the guy who wrote it originally is sitting right there. Oh, we're going to put over ECW. We don't want to put it over too much. These guys are the stars. Not tonight, my dog. The heat is on Heyman. He set it up in the beginning of the show. I just finished It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What happens in the cold open closes the show. It is the thread that goes through and hits the edit button at the end. Same as Curb Your Enthusiasm. This should have been that. They still don't understand how to do it. Meanwhile, it's right in front of them. It's right there on these shows. They're like, let's just use this format, and here's how we do it. No. He came out as dressed as New Jack. Oh, but you did the spot wrong. So right away, it means nothing. Now you're just fucking, might as well go to Spirit Halloween and fucking dress as something else next week.
Boy, I don't know even know where to take this show after that.
It's just, I'm just not tired of it. I don't really even give a fuck, to be honest with you. It just needs to be answered of these fans like, what does he know? Or them going, Russo brand, we'll cut their throats, and it doesn't matter what they say. Meanwhile, it obviously does matter if people are DMing Disco about me from WWE, because they're fanboys who don't understand the biz either. I would probably say even Drew McIntyre said 80% of their roster shouldn't be there, right?
Right.
Even Kenny Omega said it. And if that's about their roster, what do you think the fucking fans of those people are? They shouldn't be there. Big purses on TV. Get out of here.
All right. Well, I guess I could throw out some headlines unless you want to wrap this show up. We're at about an
If
hour.
there's anything else you want to do, go for it, bro.
Well, I mean, I just have some, I guess headlines here, if you will. WWE officially confirms that WrestlePalooza will air on ESPN against AEW All Out. They've officially confirmed that WrestlePalooza will air on ESPN against All Out on September the 20th. The first PLE to kick off the ESPN partnership will be over the first WrestlePalooza on Saturday, September 20th, live from Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, host of the 2025 Royal Rumble. Your thoughts on them going forward and going head-to-head with AEW's All Out?
Yeah, well, that's the pettiness, right?
Right.
Instead of
It seems
focusing.
like-
Go ahead.
I was going to say, because it seems like everyone, at least the speculation on the internet right now, is WWE is looking to build up TNA because they want to put AEW out of business.
Yeah. Triple H wants his own Monday Night War victory.
Gotcha.
And that's what you do when you're the top guy. That's why the only people to run in New York State, aside from NYWC and down by the city, was Hellcat at UPW in Rochester, because we didn't run it. Rochester's a tough town to run, even though I had some great shows there and I liked working for Hellcat after 2CW. Nothing but great things to say about them. And then ESW in Buffalo, which is big now, but at the time they were just kind of here and there, because 2CW ran the entire state, and anybody who would want to try and run Syracuse or Watertown or any Binghamton, good fucking luck, because Josh and Steve are coming to cut your fucking throat, dog, with every shady promoter trick possible, from tearing down posters to booking guys off of your show to come to 2CW and give them a spot because they know they'd want it, but you're not allowed to work for anybody else if you're there, things along those lines, right? And that's when you're the top dog and you got competition, you want to cut their throats. But you can't do it saying we're the best product and we don't do vindictive shit like that when everything you're doing is opposite of that. It's a smart promoter move to eliminate your competition, but Tony Khan and the fans over there can't be going, see, look what they're doing. They're trying to hurt us, man. Dude, you got to go fucking Hamas on these motherfuckers. You have to become the terrorists, the guerrilla warfare, because they have a corporate structure that they have to abide by where they do these. This is a Cold War move. It's hot, but they're not saying AEW, we're going ahead with them. They're just making these booking moves that are definite fuck yous, but they'll never put it over on air, right?
Right.
Only in backhanded things. Where Khan and AEW could come out next week with some character, if it was Lodi in WCW times or whoever it is, Ralphus, boycott WrestlePalooza. You know what I mean? Start something that hurts them now and makes your underground thrive and do a fuck you to the system, especially if you've got a bunch of people who are left leaning and they have Trump derangement syndrome. They want to strike back at authority. How do we capitalize off of that energy and turn that against politics into the corporate Triple H era, you know, and call things out for what they are and the moves they're making? Then if WWE turns and actually has to sell on their show and to address some of the wild things some of your characters have said, and it can't be Tony Khan out there jumping around screaming it, because that's just going to turn into a meme. You have to think of smart ways to fuck you to them in order to do it. And Josh and Steve, we did this for fucking years at 2CW to the point of getting cease and desists and, you know, coming up with characters to rib Triple H outright, things along those lines. Tony could do it. And if he can't, talk to Nick and Matt and have them fucking give us a call. We're just sitting in the weed vault watching all this happen, you know? So that's what Khan needs to do, is to get guerrilla warfare terrorist with it.
I mean, is WWE hyping up TNA because they don't want to appear like they're monopolizing the industry, right? They're buying AAA. They're trying to buy other brands. By hyping up one company doesn't make it look like, oh, look, we're not monopolizing professional wrestling because TNA is still around and they're owned by a different company.
If you're not with us,
you're against us.
So sell out and fold and become part of what we are, or feel the wrath. And it's the illusion that Impact and AAA, sure, they might get to do their own creative, you know, because Triple H and the rest of the crew are focused on writing such great shows like 4 tag matches on a SmackDown. You know, that, yeah, let them do independently like that, but it's about being with WWE for the rub, you know. So even if it's owned by somebody else, on paper, you're getting put over and protected underneath the WWE umbrella, and anybody outside of that, a Ring of Honor, a CMLL, an AEW, get ready to feel the wrath. And then what will they do? They'll offer their top guys spots. Oh, they lost Jericho. That's the next one. That's the next book for the Pop Triple H thing. Brock has no storyline. There's no reason to have Brock here, but we got the pop that week, and then we got the Goldberg pop, and we got this pop, and now we're working until Jericho comes back. Like, that's all we have, bro. Like, they're not writing anything compelling, but because they have the corporate machine behind them, they can do as thou wilt. And I think not being in that a machine gives you so many more opportunities to do stuff, even if it was a worked shoot, like the Killer Cross promo.
Right.
That, you know, that's the level of stuff we need to be doing. Like even people coming out with "fuck the guy in the truck with the suit and tie" t-shirt on. Josh would have released that and then gotten it going and had something, and the whole crowd chanting, "Fuck that guy, fuck that guy." You know exactly who they're talking about, right?
Right.
These are just the little sparks of, like, you introduced it into the ethosphere. I'm going to fucking turn that spark into a fire, bro, and watch it. And they don't want to get burned by it. Then they just dismiss you. They're indie. Oh, yeah? Well, what the fuck is Gabe Sapolsky? What is Evolve? What is Brett with GCW? Like, you're selling for that. Why? Because they go along and play along. we're nobody's whipping boy, bro. We're men of our own, and this is phony ass pro wrestling, and I'm not gonna bow before somebody else who just came through Killer Kowalski's school like Strangler Steve did and politicked with HBK and the rest of the clique to get his fucking spot and marry into it and act like, well, that's going to really save wrestling in the show. Really? Okay.
Rumors surrounding Chris Jericho potentially returning to WWE when his contract expires. According to Fightful.com, WWE sports sources spoken to claim that Jericho's name hasn't come up at all around the creative process. If conversations have happened regarding him internally, it wasn't in the department. Talent have been speculating about Jericho's potential, and return WWE officials say that Jericho remains on good terms with the company. One source described the scenario as being far too early to tell, since WWE isn't certain when Jericho's status will be in the coming months. Do you end up foreseeing Jericho back in WWE, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. He's done everything he could over there. He's been kind of the booker, you know what I mean, to Tony Khan's, right-hand man. And now
Will
that's
Washington.
Now and the Will Washington and RJ City are kind of that now, right?
Yeah.
So, Jericho has had what an incredible run, bro, where he's too small, he's a mid-carder, he isn't this or that. You give him give me a tuber, I'm going to get you something out of it. I'm an artist, that's what he does, whether it was Ralphus in WCW, crazy hairstyles. The guy got over with clicking a fucking pen, bro.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Pavlovian? Click. No, on the list. And Y2J, the greatest debut of all time in wrestling history, combining the reality of Y2K or what it was supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be done. And instead we get, big purse. So him coming back over there will be booking for the pop, but expect him to go under and not go over on anybody because you got to eat shit, pal. And I wouldn't doubt that you'll see them hire guys like, what's Mount Everest? Fucking Darby.
Yeah.
And then they'll just they'll get Darby over in NXT, bring him up to the main roster, and he will just be nothing there. And it's not because of him. It's because, we're so happy you're here. You're about to fucking get owned. Yeah, dude, you're going to get we're going to strap the rocket to you and I'm going to fucking launch it right into Building 7. That's what is going to happen in this wrestling mafia of anybody who comes over there.
You don't think Darby's a loyalist to AEW? He would stay with them. He climbed the mountain, planted their flag, that kind of loyalty.
Hey, you Titanic sinking, you want to get on this life raft? You're going down with the ship.
I mean, maybe he's going down with the ship.
Then that would be foolish.
Okay.
Because we all get into this business for one reason, to get to that WWE spotlight addiction of where it would go. He climbed Mount Everest. He planted the flag there. What else is there for him to do? He doesn't have the size. He doesn't pass the eye test, the airport test, right? Not saying he's not a great artist and we can make anybody champion. I firmly believe that with the right circumstances. But for him to go to WWE is what is left in his next chapters of his career. So you're just going to stay with Khan and do what? Jump off another table and go through more plate glass windows?
Well, they're going to put the title on him, don't you know? He's going to be the
Probably
WWE World Champion. So, of course, he's going to stick around to fulfill that boyhood dream.
That'd be fine. And he's upped his stock price then. And then they'll really want him. And then they'll really want to bury him. Because that guy was champ over there. He can't even beat Sami Zayn over here. He can't beat Austin Theory. But that guy was AEW champ. That's how they'll do it. That guy was AEW champ. He can draw. Let's put him into the right scenario to make a success out of him. They'll do that in NXT to hype him up. This is how we do it in WWE way, you guys. The locker room's so much better here. Things are so much more professional. And then the real fucking throat cutting comes once you get up to the main roster, because no way an AEW champ could beat any true WWE property. That's what they'll think in their head, and they'll book it that way. Same as fucking everybody else that was a WCW guy. Even Bret Hart is bitching about it now, about not having a seat And Nash's retort was, well, we left for WCW and they fucking want to send a message that we still got heat. Like, this is the level of paranoia that is put into wrestlers, and it's for good reason, because they don't forget, bro. And they will never put an Impact guy that got himself over like an Eli Drake into LA Knight.
Right.
We can't even call you Eli Drake. Like, we got to change it to some fucking stupid thing and do the exact same bit. But maybe down the road you'll get over. But right now, we're going to keep you right here because you're a self-made man and you're not a controlled puppet like the rest of these properties that came up through NXT.
All right. Well, Ben, we went going an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All I've got is a bunch of crappy headlines that we don't need to really get into.
It's all good, man. These fucking things needed to be addressed today, and it's not something I like to do, spend time talking about fucking nameless, faceless fans who I hope have something more in their life aside from living a troll life. But to me, it really seems like Generation Useless is filled with these types of fucking sad sacks of shit who fucking work at GameStop and fucking have never touched a tit in their life and are making comments about pregnancies that are being talked about on TV, trying to tear me down, and they didn't even listen to the clip. I'm just like, okay, we'll sell for you fucking morons today, I guess. But it doesn't matter because it's Friday Locker Room, and it's Hameen Media Group, and we have fans that actually fucking get it because they've been educated and they've been here for a long time, and they're listening to pundits who are the real pros, not just pundits who are TV watchers and have an opinion on things that is untrained and unfounded.
Well, that's all I got today, Ben. You can check out my podcast at South Park. SMB is South Park Review on all podcast outlets. Check out our YouTube at South Park Pod. Brand new top takeaway video getting ready to drop on the latest episode that happened last night. Brand new episode of South Park just dropped. So on this, it's a Randy episode. It's a Tegrity episode. It's a weed episode. So check it out. Brand new episode of South Park. Randy's having trouble fighting against the system, and he's maybe potentially losing his farm. So go check it out.
That's not far from a reality, bro. Right now in New York City, Office of Cannabis Management, I don't know if they got sued or if it's something that came up where they had to address it, but 152 shops are in violation of the original MRTA code because of like 7 of them are throughout the state, but 145 in New York City, when they renew their license, whatever that is, 2-3 years, are going to have to move, unless they redo this again already, have to move shop because they're within 500 feet of either a church or 1,000 feet of a school. And in New York City, not easy, because on every block there's going to be one, even if you go around the corner. So people are like, well, rewrite the MRTA. Well, if you do that, that opens up to a ton of other lawsuits because now you've rewritten the bylaws that were, the foundation of it. So if you rewrote that, why can't you rewrite this? And who's behind all that? Probably big corporate cannabis using individuals as pawns to overthrow the industry. So just in the recreational dispensary space, it's a constant, like, what's coming next from the government, you know what I mean? Or a disguised lawsuit from Big Cannabis, who also just paid millions with their lobbyists to go meet with Trump about rescheduling to Schedule 1, or from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, I believe, 3 to 1. Right. It's the lower one, whatever.
Yeah, they brought that up in the episode, which is funny.
And it is absolutely reality. And dude, I've been in meetings with people early on where the government effed it up, and the cultivators were the first ones to get all their licenses, obviously, because we're going to need weed if we're going to fucking sell it. Right. But then things got tripped up and slowed down with more lawsuits sponsored by Big Cannabis secretly to stop the flow of things. So now all these cultivators had, $400,000, $500,000 in product, and it sat on the shelf for a year and had to be destroyed. So their whole first crop. So in the first year before any shops were even opened, farmers got smashed, bro. I was at one really hot meeting in Albany, and this one lady got up, and single mom, and was crying and like saying that she had to call suicide hotline. Dude had a noose around her neck at the fucking meeting.
Jesus.
There's like 150 people there. And you want to talk Jesus. So this is just like a fucking 30 to 40 something year old woman, all during woke culture, all in her feelings, all, whatever. The C program, which is a social equity for women program, which I totally support that as well. But you can't show up to a meeting when the rest of the fucking board that you're talking to are also social equity hires who are women of color.
Right.
You do not want to put a noose around your neck in front of black people when you're a white woman hippie going, my life is so hard. Bro, they took it a completely different way. Like, didn't matter what she was saying about her own tragedy in life, which is important, of getting effed over. Once you see a white woman with a noose around her neck bitching to a bunch of black women, we got a whole different conversation, my guy. And it went, I'm not here to laugh at anybody's misfortune, but that was like a whoo doggy. When we sat there and watched that, I was like, we're just going to stay small and shut up in this locker room, dude. Like, so there is a lot in that South Park episode I'm anxious to see, because it is ever changing, and really behind the scenes, it has nothing to do with, not nothing, but the bureaucracy and the politics and the policy. It has everything to do with big cannabis constantly trying to pop that bubble, and so they can come in and take over. They'll give you, and it's the exact same thing that I had said when this started. I can't believe we're back to mom and pop shops like mine, brick and mortar, where it was like in the 80s and 90s. Like, if you needed a mattress, you went to the mattress store. You needed TV, you went to the TV store. Like, before big box, Target and Walmart came in and destroyed everything. That's exactly what is repeating right now. We're probably 5 years away from it, where their money and influence will get it rescheduled, where they can finally come in, buy out all the mom and pops, and you'll have corporate cannabis coast to coast in all 50 states. Like, that's just...
Really don't want corporate cannabis.
That's the way business works, or so I've been told, because I don't know anything.
You don't know what you're doing. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Ben Hameen, 2 CWs coming back in December, it sounds like. Is that the Stooge report?
Yeah,
the Stooge report?
We're working. Yeah, we're stooging, we're working, man, and if you guys are HMG Russo brand fanatics, hopefully it's straightened out some of the bullshit today. I'm more than happy to go on K100 and keep it 100. If I'm the only one that does, then so be it. But no hate for my big brothers. No, like back and forth of I want to lose friends over this shit. It's just not worth it, and it's stupid to do that. And I hope we can all get on the same page soon, you guys. But to all the trolls out there, ProWrestlingTees.com/Ben Hameen. Friday Locker Room Infidels. YOLO.
Ding dong.
Goddamn right, Japanese.